Hi everyone, welcome to Singing How to Study Chinese. This is HSK Level 1 course and I'm your teacher Ronnie. Today we are going to learn Lesson 7, 第7课，今天几号？今天几号 which means what's the date today? Okay, now let's move on to our part 1, warm up. We can see there are two parts as usual, pictures and the new words. Let's see the new words first. First one is 书. This one, we've seen it before. It means books. Next one, 中国菜. This one, we're really familiar with it. It means Chinese dish. Next one is 学校. It can be a little bit new one. It means school. Next is 25号. 25, we already know it means 25. If you are not familiar with how to read Chinese numbers, please go back and check the former lessons, okay? So 25号 here means the 25th in the month, okay? The 25th in the month. Next one, 月, it means a month. Okay, sometimes it means the moon too. Last one, 看书. 看 is a verb. It means to read, to watch, to see. And 看书 means read books. Okay, first one, 书. Next one, 中国菜. 学校. 25号. 月. 看书. Now let's fill in the blanks. Okay, time's up. Let's see. First one, 书 books, really easy. It is E. Next one, 中国菜 Chinese dish, really easy one too. It is D. And next, 学校 it actually is A. In China, most of the high schools and middle schools looks like this. It is a playground of a school. And next is 25号, which is C. 月 month, which is F. We can see there is a calendar here, F. And the last one, 看书, obviously it is B. Okay, now let's move on to our second part, which is text and the new words. So today's new words are a little bit more than before. So now let's focus on first one is 请. Read after me, please. 请. The initial is Qi, the final is in, and the tone is the third tone. 请. It means please. And next one, 问. It means to ask, to inquire. Read after me. 问. So if I say 请问, then it is excuse me. It is asking politely, okay? 请问. To combine these two, 请问, it is a polite way to ask about something, especially when you are asking a stranger. Okay, 请问, read out to me. 请问. Okay, next one is 今天. 今天. Read after me, please. 今天. It means today. Okay, 今天, today. And if I want to say today is very good. We've learned very before. Today is very good. How to say that? It is 今天很好. Okay, next one. I am very good today. So I is the subject of the sentence. So I will put I at the beginning, which is 我. And today, very good, is 今天很好. So the sentence is 我今天很好. 我今天很好. Last one, let's try to ask a question. Are you good today? Are you good today? This time I didn't use very, this word. I just said, are you good today? Not very good. So try to say this sentence. Are you good today? So we will still put the person, the subject at the beginning of the sentence. So it is 你. And the time word is 今天,你今天. And good, 你今天好吗? We need a 吗. The question, there will be always a 吗 in most of the questions, right? So 吗,你今天好吗? Okay, 你今天好吗? Next one is how. How. Read after me, please. How. It is the date. It means the number of the date. For example, like in the warm-up, we've learned 25号. 25号. It means the 25th of the month. 25号. Okay, 25号. So if I want to say the first of the month, then it is 1号. Okay, 1号. So which date you want to say, you just put 号 after it. Okay, 1号, 2号, 3号, 4号, 5号, like this. So this is how. Next one is 月. 月. Read after me, please. 月. It is a fourth term word. 月. It means month. It is the same as how. Which month do you want to say? You just put a number before the 月. And in Chinese, the months, the name are just counted in number. For example, January is not called something like January. It is called the first month. So it is 1月. And the February is the second month, which is 2月. Okay, so from 1月 to the 12月. Okay, 1月, 2月, 3月, 4月, 5月, 6月, 7月, 8月, 9月, 10月, 11月, 12月. And we are going to learn it later, okay? Later in the language point part. So here we are not going to practice it more time. Next one is 星期. 西音星717. Read after me, please. 星期. It means week. And if you want to say which day in the week, we will use the number as well. So the first day in the week is Monday, and we will call it 星期一. Not like how and 月. We will put the number before 好 and 月. But for 星期, we will put the number after it. Okay, after it. The number. And for this, we will put the number before 好 and 月. For example, 星期一, and the second day of the week is 星期二, and 星期三, 星期四, 星期五, 星期六, 星期日. This time we won't call it 星期七, okay? Not 星期七, it's 星期日 or 星期天. Or 天, these two ways to call Sunday. 星期日 or 星期天, okay? 星期日 or 星期天. So read after me. 星期 Okay, now let's try to read it from the start, each word twice. 3, 2, 1. 请问今天号月星期。Okay, very good. Now let's try to move on to our text. I will read for you and please listen carefully, okay? Please listen carefully. 请问今天几号？今天9月1号。今天星期几？星期三。Okay, let's see the sentence by sentence. First one, 请问. We just learned it. It means ask something politely. It actually means excuse me. And 问 means to ask, right? Ask. 今天几号？今天 means today, and 几号 here we can see 几 means how many. It is used to ask about numbers. So 几号 means which date. So it is asking about the date. 今天几号? What's the date today? Okay, 今天几号 is the sentence to ask about the date today. 今天几号? Read after me. 今天几号? 今天几号? Okay, next one, be answered. 今天9月1号。9月1号。9月 9, number 9, 1, number 1. It is really easy to remember the names of the months in Chinese if you already know how to count numbers. Okay, you don't need to remember other things, just like in English we need to remember 12 different names of the month, right? And 7 different names of the week. But in Chinese, no, you just need to know 月 and 号. Then you can know everything about the year. Next one is 今天星期几？今天星期几？星期 means week. And 星期几 here is asking about the date of the week. Which date in the week? So from 几号 and 星期几 here we can see 号 and 月. For 号 and 月 when we are asking about the date of the month and the date of the day, then we will use 几号. We will put the number or 几 before 号. But for 星期, when we are asking about a week, we will put the number and the 号 after number before after the 星期, okay? After 星期. Next, be answered 星期三, which is the Wednesday, okay? So now let's read this text from the start. Read after me, please. 3, 2, 1. 请问今天几号？今天9月1号。今天星期几？星期三。Okay, now let's try to read in rows. I will be A and you will be B. 3, 2, 1. 请问今天几号？今天星期几？Okay, let's switch the row. You will be A and I will be B. 3, 2, 1. 今天9月1号。星期三。Okay, very good. Now let's move on to text 2. First, let's see 2 new words. You can see there are two new words look really familiar with another word we've learned in the text one. See, first one is 昨天自我昨科烟天昨天 Read after me please 昨天 It means yesterday Okay, 昨天 yesterday. Next one is 明天摸赢明科烟天明天 Read after me please 明天 means tomorrow and still remember how to say today. We just learned it in the text one. Today is 今天基因金科烟天 Okay, we've learned today, yesterday, and tomorrow already. 今天 Okay, now let's try to read it from the start, each word twice. 昨天明天 Very good. Now let's just move on to our text. I will read it and please listen carefully. 昨天是几月几号？昨天是8月31号，星期二。明天呢？明天是9月2号，星期四。Okay, now let's see the text sentence by sentence. First sentence is asking about the date, right? The date. 昨天 yesterday. 昨天是 means to be, is. 昨天是几月几号？几月几号？ In text 1, we've learned how to ask about only the date. 几号？ And this one, it is asking more detailedly. 几月 it is asking about the month and the date. Okay, but when someone is only asking about 几号, you can also tell them the month of the date. Okay, 几月几号 or just asking about 几号 is all these two are both right. And 几月 which month? 几号 which date? And be answered 昨天是 yesterday is 8月 August 31号 31 still remember how to count the numbers in Chinese? We need to read the 10th digit first and then we'll read the unit, right? We will read it. So it is 30 and 1, okay? 31. So 8月31号 August the 31st. 星期二 It is Tuesday. Okay, 星期二 the second day of the week. And I asked again, 明天呢 So it is only in this sentence we can't see much details, right? It just said, how about tomorrow? So if there's nothing happened before here, if we cannot see these two sentences, then we won't know what A is talking about now. So remember the function of ne. Ne is used to ask about things mentioned before, right? And before, you can see it is asking about the dates, the time, right? And in this sentence, ne is used to asking about date. And B answered, 明天 tomorrow. 明天 is, tomorrow is 9月2号 September the 2nd. 星期四 So guess what is the date for today? It is, yesterday is 8月31号 and 今天 是9月2号 ，so 明天是9月2号 ，so 今天是9月1号 ，yes 9月1号 ，so and the week is 昨天是星期二，明天是星期四 ，so 今天是星期三，星期三 ，very good. Now let's try to read it from the start. Okay, read after me. 昨天是几月几号？昨天是8月31号，星期二。明天呢？明天是9月2号，星期四。Okay, pay attention to the here. It is a neutral tone. Neutral tone. Okay, now let's read it in the row. I will be A and you will be B. 3, 2, 1. 昨天是几月几号？明天呢？Very good. Now switch the row. I will be B, you will be A. 3, 2, 1. 昨天是8月31号，星期二。明天是9月2号，星期四。Okay, now let's move on to text 3. In this sentence, we can see there are 4 new words here. First one is a verb, which is 去，去，七遇，去，七遇，去。We can see the pin of it. It looks like this. It actually should be 2 dots, but because of the rule of 机七西, still remember it? 机七西, when yu is after 机七西, these 3 initials, then we will get rid of these 2 dots, okay? So it is 去, to go. It means to go to somewhere. So anywhere you want to go, you just put the place after 去. Put the place, put the location after it. 去 a place, 去 a place. Okay, next one is 学校，西学学西要校，学校。Read after me, please. 学校，学校. It means school, school, 学校. Okay, so go to school is, we just learned go to is 去, so go to school is 去学校, okay? 去学校. We just need to link these two. 去学校. Okay, try to say go to friend's house. Go to friend's home. Go to friend's home. So friend's home is 朋友家 or 朋友的家. These two are all right, okay? 朋友家 or 朋友的家. Okay, so go to friend's home. 去朋友家，去朋友家。Okay, next one, go to teacher's home. Go to teacher's home. It is 去老师家，去老师家。Very good, very good. And if I want to say don't go somewhere, then I just need to put the negative word, which is 不. Okay, 不 before 去。不. Then we will change it to second tone because the tone sound of 不, we will change it when it is before the first tone. So it is 不去. So try to say don't go to school. Don't go to school. It is 不去学校. 不去学校. Okay, very good. Now let's move on to next verb, which is 看. We just learned it in the warm-up. 看 课案看 initial 课 the final an and the tone is the fourth tone. It means to read, to look, to watch, everything about the eyes. So read book is 看书 which is the last new word of the text. 看书事物书 read after me please. 书 actually we've seen this new word before many times. 书 means book and 看书 means read book. I try to say go to see the teacher, visit the teacher. In Chinese, we use to look at someone instead of visit someone, okay? So to see, to look at teacher is 看老师, okay? 看老师, it means visit teacher. So anyone you want to visit, you can use 看, okay? 看. And try to say visit Chinese friend. Visit Chinese friend. It is 看中国朋友。看中国朋友。Visit Chinese friend. Okay. Now try to say Chinese book. Chinese book. 中国书。中国书. We are not talking about the nationality of the book. We're talking about the language of this book. So when we are talking about language, then it is not 中国, it's 汉语. Very good. 汉语. So Chinese book is 汉语书. 汉语书. Okay, next. When I want to say one book in Chinese, I need to put a measure word between the number and the book, okay? A measure word. And the measure word of book is 本. 本. Read after me, please. 本. It's a third tone word, 本. So one book, try to say it. It is 一本书. Pay attention to the tone Sandy of 一. It is the fourth tone, okay? 一本书. 一本书. So a Chinese book is 一本汉语书. Okay? Put the measure word between the number and the noun. 一本汉语书. Then try to make a sentence. I have a Chinese book. I have a Chinese book. Then it is 我有一本汉语书. 我有一本汉语书. Don't forget about the noun, the verb 有. It means have. It means the existence. 我有一本汉语书. Okay. Now let's try to read it from the start, each for twice. 3, 2, 1. 去学校看书 Very good. Now let's move on to the text. I will read it for you and please listen carefully. 明天星期六，你去学校吗？我去学校。你去学校做什么？我去学校看书。Okay, let's see the text sentence by sentence. First one, 明天星期六。明天 is tomorrow. 星期六 Saturday. So tomorrow is Saturday. 你有去学校 go to school. We just learned the structure of 去 is anywhere you wanna go, you put a place after it, okay? 去 plus a place. 去学校 go to school. 你去学校吗? It means are you going to school? 吗 here. Okay, next one. 我去学校. I go to school. I will go to school. I will go to school. 你去学校做什么? you go to school. 做 means to make, to produce, and here it means to do what. 什么 means what. 做什么 means do what. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you go to the school? Go to the school. Okay, and B answered, 我去学校看书. I go to school to do what? To read books. 看书 read books. 我去学校看书. Okay, now let's read it from the start. Read after me, please. 3, 2, 1. 明天星期六，你去学校吗？我去学校。你去学校做什么？我去学校看书。Okay, pay attention to the neutral tone here. First one, 吗 Next one, 什么么 Okay. 你去学校吗？做什么 Okay, these two neutral tone. Now let's play in the row. I will be A and you will be B. 明天星期六，你去学校吗？你去学校做什么？ Okay, let's switch the row. 3, 2, 1. 我去学校。我去学校看书。Okay, very good. Now let's move on to our next part, which is language point. Language point. First is the expression of the date in Chinese. The part one of the expression of a date. So in Chinese, we will say the biggest unit first and then to the smallest one. So biggest unit in the date actually is the year, right? So if we need to say the year, we will say the year first, and then is the month, right? The month, and then the date of the month, and then is the week, okay, week. Because the date of the month is in the bigger system, right? In the bigger system of the month, and the week is in the smaller system, which there is a 7 days. Okay. Now let's move on to see first one. Let's see the example. 9月1号，星期三。9月1号，星期三。We can see here. We first said the month and the date of the month. 9月1号 and then we said the week. 星期三。And for the date, here is how, which means number. And when we are writing the date of the number, we will actually say, I will actually write 日. But in daily speaking, in spoken language, we will use how more often. Okay, 日, which means the date, and how, it means number. 9月1号, the 1st of September. Next, 星期三, we can see in the week we use the Chinese character instead of this numeral, right? Numeral. So this is another rule when we are writing. When we're writing the weeks, we will use the Chinese characters. Okay, let's see the next example. 9月2号, 星期四。9月2号, 星期四 means the 2nd of the September and the Thursday. Okay, let's read the last one. Last one is 8月31号，星期二。8月31号，星期二。August the 31st and Tuesday. August the 31st and the Tuesday. And the way to ask about date, we just learned in the text, it is 几月几号, okay? It is 几月几号. I will write it for you. 几月几号 and put a question mark at the end. 几月几号 This is the question of asking about the date. 几月 and 几号. And if you want to specifically ask about the week, then you can put 星期几 after it. 星期几 Okay, you just need to put 星期 after it. 星期几 So this is about the expression of date. Now let's try to say August the 1st, Friday. August the 1st, Friday. August the 1st, Friday. So August is the 8th month of the year. So it is 8月, right? 8月 and the first is 1号, 8月1号. And Friday is the 5th day of the week. So 星期五. Okay, so the answer is 8月1号, 星期五. Very good. Now let's move on to our next part, which is the sentences with a nominal predicate. Before, we've learned the sentences with the adjectival predicate, which means the adjectives can be the predicate in Chinese. And this time, the nouns can be a predicate in Chinese too. Let's just see the examples. First one, 我的汉语老师33岁。我的汉语老师33岁。Okay, here, the subject is 我的汉语老师 my Chinese teacher. My Chinese teacher. 我的汉语老师 And 33岁 is 33 years old. 岁 is the measure word for years, ages, okay? 33岁, 33 years old. And in this sentence, we cannot see any verbs, right? Nothing is verb. 我的 my 汉语老师 Chinese teacher, 33 years old. There is no 是 in between to act as an verb. There is no it, no is, no 是. So in this sentence, we can see 33岁 is actually acting as a predicate, which is a nominal. Next one, 明天星期三 tomorrow, Wednesday. These two, none of these are verbs. And 星期三 actually is acting as a predicate, the nouns. Next one, 今天9月1号. 今天9月1号. Today is the September 1st. And there is no verbs as well. So in these sentences, we can see the nominal phrases or only nouns, they can act as a predicate. Okay, but when we are talking about the dates and the ages, we usually don't put the verb in it, the verb 是 in it. But it can be more flexible when we're talking about the dates. Okay, it can be a little bit more flexible about dates. For example, today is Saturday. Is 今天星期六. Okay, Saturday is the 6th day of the week. 今天星期六. But we can also say 今天是星期六. It is okay. So 明天是星期三. For example, this example 2, 明天星期三. We can also say it as 明天是星期三. It is flexible when we're talking about days, but when we're talking about ages, it is not that flexible. Okay, not that flexible. So this is the sentences with a nominal predicate. Now let's move on to next language point, which is go to somewhere, do something. It actually is a serial verb construction. Okay, in this sentence, 去 plus a place and plus to do something actually is 去 is the verb 1 and to do something is the verb 2 here. We can see there are two verbs. So that is why this sentence, this structure is called serial verb construction, because there are more than one or more than two verbs in a sentence. Okay. And actually this verb 2 can actually mean the purpose of verb 1. Okay. And sometimes this to do something, this something can be omitted. This place can be omitted. Okay. This place can be omitted. Okay, let's see the examples. First one is 我去中国学习汉语。我去中国学习汉语。Okay, 我去中国学习汉语。We can see there is a 去 plus a place and plus to do something. This construction. And the subject is here. 我 I. And 去 I go to China to study Chinese. Okay, I go to China to study. And in here, when this 中国, this place is not that important. I'm not emphasizing the place. I am emphasizing this thing. 学习汉语. Then I can omit it. Just say 我去学习汉语. 我去学习汉语. It is okay too. Next one. 我们去吃中国菜 and where 中国饭馆 here 饭馆 retroflex finals, right? Retroflex final. 饭馆 actually means the restaurant 饭馆 and I put an R after it, and when we are reading, I will get rid of this and I will read as 饭馆 okay? 中国饭馆 Chinese restaurant. 我们去中国饭馆吃中国菜. We will go to the Chinese restaurant to eat Chinese dish. The verb 1, 去. The verb 2 is 吃中国菜. Okay, next example is 我去学校看书. Verb 1, 去. Verb 2, 看. I will go to school, read the book. 我去学校看书. Two verbs, okay? 去学校. And this 学校 can be omitted when I don't want to emphasize it. Okay? Now let's try to make a sentence. Okay, try to make a sentence. He go to friend's home to eat Chinese dish. He go to friend's home to eat Chinese dish. Okay, first one, the subject is he, so 他. The next one is 去 a place to. He will go to friend's home, so 去朋友家. Okay, 去朋友家. And next one, verb 2 is to eat Chinese dish. So it is 吃中国菜. Okay, now let's make the sentence complete. 他去朋友家吃中国菜. Okay, very good, very good. Now let's move on. Let's try to read these words, okay? First table is about the month, and the second table is about the week. Okay, now let's read after me, each for twice, okay? Each for twice. 3, 2, 1. 1月 2月 3月 3月 4月 4月 5月. For 5月, please don't forget about the tone. tone of 五 tone change of 五 we won't read it as 五 we will read it as the half third tone, right? 五月 next 六月七月八月九月十月十一月十二月 Very good. This is about the month. Now let's move on to the week. Okay, read up me. 星期一星期二星期三星期四星期五星期六星期日星期天 Okay, these are weeks and months. Now let's move on to our exercises. Okay, exercises. First one, you can see there is a calendar. It says January the 1st in 2013. Okay, now let's try to fill in the blanks. 今天是几月几号？星期几？ Okay, try to fill in the blank. First one. 今天是1月1号 right? January the 1st. So 1月1号 And 星期几 The week, try to put it in. You can see here. Let's see. Here is the Sunday. If it is the red one, it's the Sunday, and the green one is today. So we can see here there are which day? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is the Thursday. So how to say Thursday? It is 星期四. Yes, very good. So 今天是1月1号，星期四。Okay, next one. 今天几月几号 Let's see this picture here. 今天几月几号 The May is the fifth month of the year. So 5月 right? 5月 And it is 18. So 18. So 5月18号 Okay, 今天5月18号 Very easy. Now let's move on to next one. 22号是 what? 23号是 what? Let's see the calendar. In this calendar, 22 and 23, we can only see the week here. Week, the date of the week. So 22号 is Wednesday and 23号 is the Thursday. Let's see. 22号是星期 Wednesday is 星期三 Okay, 星期三 And 23号 is 星期四 Don't forget when we're writing the weeks, we will write it as the Chinese character, not this one. Is this one. Okay, 星期三 and 23号 is 星期四 Okay, last one. 明天我去 where 看 what? 明天我去哪儿看什么？明天我去哪儿看什么？ Let's see the picture here. Where is this place? It looks like a campus, right? A campus. So we can say 我去学校看 what? There's so many people looking at reading the book. So 看书。明天我去学校看书 is the right answer. Okay, now let's move on to next part, which is the tone collocation in disyllabic words. disyllabic words. So from the tone collocation, before we land, we can see only the third tones are what we need to pay attention to. They're always the tone change of the third tone. We will need to change the tone into half third tone, right? Now, so first, let's see if this rule is right. First one, 时间. Read after me, please. 时间. And try to look at this one, this table here. We can see there are still pitches, 5 pitches, and 时 is rising from this to here, from 2 to 4, 2 to 4. And the first tone is still, if it is not at the highest, the fifth tone, then it will be at the fourth pitch. So it is 时间, 时间. It is not 时间, it's 时间, 时间, okay? 时间. Next one is 银行. Read up to me, please. 银行, 银行. It is not this one, 行, the second character, second syllable, is not rising up from here, right? Like this. It is rising up from here. So it is 银行, not 银行. It's not like that. It's 银行. Okay. Next one. Let's see the third tone here. Read up to me. 词典. 词典. We can see in the picture it means the dictionary, 词典. And this means the bank, okay? This means the bank. And this one is 词典, 词典. It means dictionary. So we can see the second tone is still, as usual, for pitch 2 to pitch 4. And 点, it is the third tone. It's not rising up like this. It is here, 2, 1, 1. Pitch 2 to pitch 1, and it won't rise up high. 2, 1, 1. So it's 点. Read after me, please. 词典, 词典, 词典. And it is not high like this. The pitch is not high like this. It's not 词典, it's 词典, 词典. Okay? Read after me, please. 词典, 词典. Last one is 蓝色, 蓝色. It rises up, the second tone rises up, and then at the highest pitch, it just falls down. 蓝色. It's like this, 蓝色. And this one is not falling down from here. Okay, it's falling down from high. It's 蓝色. It's not 蓝色. Okay, it's 蓝色. Read after me, please. 蓝色, 蓝色, 蓝色. Very good. So from here we can see we just need to pay attention to this third tone. Okay, it is half third tone. So now let's try to practice this part, this line here. Okay, don't pay too much attention of the meaning of the words. Okay, we will just using the pronunciation to practice. So read after me. 苹果, 苹果, 苹果. Half third tone. The next one is 啤酒, 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 啤酒. Next one is 牛奶, 牛奶, 牛奶. Last one is 游泳, 游泳, 游泳. Very good. Now let's move on to our next part, which is the single component characters. Single component characters. First one is 四, 四, which means four, 四. In ancient time, when this word is originally created, it is written like this. Some of the students asked me before when we are learning 一, 二, and 三, they asked if 四 is written in this way. It is written in this way in ancient time, but in modern Chinese, it is written like this, not for horizontals, not for 横. It is this. Now let's see how to write it, okay? Try to write it with me. First, vertical and then a horizontal vertical hook, and then a left turning, and then this turning, this curve, and then a horizontal to close this. Okay, try to write them with me again. Vertical, horizontal, vertical hook, and then close it. Try to write it with me again. Okay, this is 4, which means 4. Okay, next one is 5. 5. It means 5. In ancient time, it looked like this, and now we are writing it in this way. Now let's see how to write it, and write with me. First, a short horizontal, and then a vertical, and then a horizontal turning, and then a horizontal, the longest one. Okay, try to write it with me again. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal turning, and then a horizontal. Again, horizontal, vertical, horizontal turning, horizontal. Okay, 5. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal turning, horizontal. This is 5. Now let's move on to next single component character, which is book. So we can see in ancient time, it looked really complicated here, And actually you can see here is this part. This part actually means a hand. It looks like this, looks like a hand. This part is hand and this part is arm. And this one, this thing is actually a brush. It is a brush. And these 2 dots are the ink. And this is a bowl, a thing to put the ink in. This is 书. In ancient times, 书 actually means writing. And now we call it a book, which is the books are written. Now let's try to see how to write 书 in modern Chinese. First, a horizontal turning, and then a horizontal turning hook, and then a vertical, and then a dot. Very easy one. Let's try to write it with me again. Horizontal turning hook, a vertical in the middle, and a dot. Again, horizontal turning hook, a vertical, and a dot. This is 书. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the last part, the structure of the Chinese characters. Left, right, and left, middle, right. In compound characters, we will have several radicals, and that's why we will see there are many constructions, the structure of different kinds. First one is left, right. It is really easy. We can see this 你 here. In the left, we can see this is the radical 人, and in the right, we can see this part. We can separate it from here, right? And next one is 好, which means good. 好. And we can separate it from here. In the left part, it means 女, which is woman. And in the right, another character, it is 子, which means son, baby. Okay. And the left, middle, right structure, which is we can separate them into 3 parts, left, middle, and right. For this 谢, which means thank, 谢, thank, we can see left here, this radical, which is 言, which is about talking. And in the middle is this thing, which is 生, and in the right, it's 寸. We can separate into this, and this. These 3 parts, right? 3 parts. And next one, this 树, it means a tree. We can still separate it into 3 parts too. Let's see. It is these 3 parts, right? These 3 parts. So it is really easy to see these 2 structures, left, right, and left, middle, right. It is really obvious construction of this component characters. Okay. Now let's move on to the last part, which is the radical, Chinese radicals. 2 radicals for today. First one is 三点水, 三点水, 3 dots of water, which is 三点水旁. The shape, it is shaped like 3 dots of water, right? 3 drops of water. And this radical 三点水, it is usually related to water. First one, 汉, 河岸, 汉. It is really familiar with us. It actually always used in Hanyu, right? Hanyu, which means Chinese. And some of you might think it's nothing about water. But actually in ancient time, and now there's still a river called Han Shui. Han Shui. Shui means water. Han Shui actually it means Han River. And Chinese are really familiar with this river, okay? 汉水. Next one, 没, it means nothing, okay? 没, not to have. For example, 没有. Okay, next radical is 言字旁. The radical, this one is always about talking, about the language, speak. Okay, 言字旁. This one, it looks like this. And in ancient time, it actually looked like this. And in modern Chinese, it is simplified into this one. 言字旁, 言. Okay, let's see the example characters. First one is 语, which means language. 语. This part is 言字旁. Next one is 谁, which means whom. And this part is 言字旁 too. 言字旁, 谁. Okay, this is all for today's class, and please try to practice writing and reading after the class, and thanks for listening. See you next time.